Thank you, Madam Speaker. I yield myself as much time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
I strongly oppose H.R. 8369, which is a cynical political exercise by my GOP colleagues to attempt to sow division and use the United States-Israel relationship and American security assistance to advance their own political agenda. Despite what you have heard and will hear from the other side of the aisle today, there is no bigger champion for Israel's long-term security as a Jewish state than President Joe Biden. Like me, the president is committed to eliminating Hamas. And that is clear by what took place recently when he defended, along with other allies, Israel from an Iranian attack. He visited Israel during wartime. He has delivered unprecedented aid, and to suggest that he's abandoning or harming Israel is absurd. He has been with Israel as a senator, as a vice president, and as a president. And to insinuate that now all of a sudden he's not with Israel is not true at all. And I hear my Republican colleagues arguing that leveraging a 2,000-pound bomb should not have been done publicly. Well, that approach has not worked for months. The Biden administration publicly and privately urged Israel not to launch a major offense in Rafah without credible plans to avoid mass casualties and to try to evacuate Palestinians to a safe space. The United States has also repeatedly pressed Israel to cease using large warhead ordnance that results in excessive civilian casualties in densely populated civilian areas. So humanitarian pauses, our values, to try to save innocent lives, not saving Hamas, but trying to save innocent men, women, and children while we pursue Hamas. Not cutting off all weapons, cutting off these huge bombs that kills innocent individuals, but utilize munitions that is more appropriate for urban warfare to get Hamas. To date, Israel has presented no plan to mitigate civilian harm or commitment to not using the 2,000-pound bombs in Rafah. And to the contrary, what we heard was Prime Minister Netanyahu last week had repeatedly affirmed Israel's plans for an all-out assault on Rafah. That is when the Biden administration confirmed it would temporarily hold a small number of large warhead bombs so that they would not be used in Rafah. My Republican friends also seem to think that President Biden's actions are unprecedented. But there is a history of the United States withholding certain security assistance to Israel. Many of my GOP colleagues call themselves Reagan Republicans. So recall that President Reagan did the exact same thing based on concerns with Israel's military actions on two occasions, in 1981 and 1982. These 2,000-pound bombs in question can create a crater up to 50 feet wide and 36 feet deep when dropped. and they have a lethal fragmentation to a radius the size of multiple football fields. Such bombs have no place in urban combat, not in Gaza, not in Rafah, one of the most densely populated areas on the planet. And the United States has a duty, an obligation under law to make sure our weapons are not disproportionately killing civilians. And as far as this bill, H.R. 8369 prohibits the Biden administration from exercising its executive branch prerogative in holding or suspending U.S. armed transfers to Israel, including these large warhead munitions and any other defense article. It also forces the administration to deliver any such item to Israel within 15 days of enactment. If the administration is unable to comply, it freezes significant parts of the Defense Department, the State Department, and the National Security Council budgets. According to the Defense Department itself, and I quote, withholding these defense-wide operations and maintenance funds would jeopardize DOD's ability to fulfill its constitutional obligation to defend the United States of America, which could cause significant harm to the United States' national security. Further, these budgetary freezes would undermine U.S. defense leadership when we are simultaneously competing in the Indo-Pacific, supporting Ukraine in its fight against Russia's war of aggression, and working with our partners in sub-Saharan Africa on security challenges. Again, this is all tremendously dangerous for what? For our own national security. The bill also includes a blatantly political attack on military officers, hard-working civil servants, and U.S. government employees by mandating Inspector General investigations into individuals, not agencies or departments, and orders the withholding of their salaries and a brazen and politicized winch hunt. All of these concerns would have been made clear had my Republican colleagues not rushed this bill through without any kind of regular order. Had it been marked up in the Foreign Affairs Committee, we would have been able to highlight that this legislation undercuts a number of crucial existing United States laws that are in the Foreign Affairs Committee's jurisdiction, including the Arms Export Control Act, the Leahy Law, the executive branch policies, including the Conventional Arms Transfer Policy and the National Security Memorandum 20. So let me repeat. President Biden paused one arms shipment, one. And the president continues to focus on freeing the hostages, put the onus on Hamas to reach a deal, and supports Israel's right to eradicate Hamas. That is the position of President Joseph R. Biden. Let's be clear about it. So in conclusion, consider the facts and the context. We should oppose this bill moving forward because it is not good for Israel and it's not good for the United States of America. And I reserve the balance of my time.